Have you ever noticed how your normal isn't normal at all somewhere else? As someone who was born in Argentina but moved a lot growing up and lived in different places like Spain, Colorado, and now Florida, no matter where I moved, certain Argentinian habits quietly followed me. And it wasn't until I got older that I realized how these made me more frugal, or what some would consider as such, especially when you compare it to how we live in the US. And honestly, it's these very Argentinian habits that have saved me thousands each year, and more importantly, also helped me live more intentionally and really try to enjoy life in the process. Whether you clicked on this video out of curiosity or you're coming from one of my recent videos of my low buy or my no buy month, lately we've really been diving into mindful spending, living more intentionally, and just designing a life that we love. So if that sounds like your vibe, welcome back to the channel. I'm Carla. Let's get into it. Habit number one is drinking mate, aka the life source of caffeine for all Argentinians. And the reason that drinking mate can make us more frugal, and also guys, I am definitely generalizing here and I'm speaking from my own personal experience. I know that it's not the case for every single Argentinian, what I'm gonna be saying today, but mate has helped me save so much money because culturally, we reach for drinking this over going out to buy coffees. Growing up, I never, ever, and this is also has to do with obviously how my parents raised me, but we never bought coffee out. We always drank mate at home. And for reference, this is what my yerba stock looks like right now, which is what goes inside the cup. This is the loose leaf tea, as some people would like to call it. Look at the size of this compared to my head. I got this on my last trip to Argentina, and it probably cost me around, I wanna say maybe $10 max. And this is gonna last me probably, if not the whole year, it'll last me at least 6 to 8 months. And yes, I drink coffee too, don't get me wrong, but the habit of drinking a warm drink at home and having mate be our main source of caffeine, and it's also a hunger suppressant, but that's a whole different story and I can make a video on that. But another key aspect of how this has helped me save a lot of money on a yearly basis is that the ritual of making mate also makes it feel more expensive than it is, and it also takes out that pressure of needing to go buy coffee or tea or matcha out, and I can save that more as a treat. I don't see it as a form of restriction. I love making my mates in my slow morning routine, and also more importantly than that, from a cultural aspect, it encourages long and slow social time with friends and family. For you germaphobes out there, you are not gonna love this, but we do pass this around and we drink it with friends, we drink it with families. We can be sitting, chatting, drinking mate for hours on end, or even in work settings, if you have multiple people that drink mate, you're passing it around with your coworkers. It's a form of socializing and sharing something with each other, which honestly I think is so beautiful, and it's something that sometimes I miss here in the US, but my fiance has been getting into it. It is an acquired taste if you haven't tried it yet, or actually if you have tried traditional mate, please let me know in the comments whether it's an obsession for you or whether you think it's so bitter and so gross. I'm curious to know your thoughts. Like I said, it's definitely an acquired taste, but you can train yourself to like it. And it's just a very nice and grounding experience, and also just gives you sustained energy without the crash that sometimes coffee does. And if you get yourself a mate cup and a thermos and some yerba, you can have an endless source of caffeine that you don't need to spend a lot of money on. Habit number two is free leisure and socializing, whether that's parks, going for walks, setting up a blanket somewhere, and drinking mate with friends and family. Honestly, anything that equals time together without a bill is something that Argentinians love and naturally do, I think, without even thinking about it. As someone, like I said, that's lived in a lot of different places, I've had a lot of different friendships, all different types of cultures, and also living in the US for more years out of my life than I have, honestly, in Argentina. I've realized how Argentinians value long conversations and shared hobbies over strictly money-based activities. And this is by no means throwing shade to any other culture. That is not at all what this video is about. It's more so just showing you a different way to maybe incorporate some of these things if you think that they can bring value into your life and still help you save money, live more intentionally, be more mindful with your spending, all things like that. That's the point of this video. And it can be so fun to make the most out of free leisure and socializing and really spending that time with people without needing so much external distraction. Habit number 3 is Sunday Asados. And for those of you that have no idea what an asado is, it's essentially the Argentinian form of Sunday barbecues, which we do religiously almost every Sunday, whether it's with friends, again, whether it's with family, whether it's with your friends and family. It's just something that's culturally so ingrained to have somebody do the asado at their house. People pitch in to buy the meat. You have the people that are the experts in making the meats, all different types of cuts. And it's just a huge, large meal instead of eating out at a restaurant. And the reason why this ends up actually being frugal in a way and you end up saving money is because everyone is contributing, whether that's food, time preparing meals. It ends up being a lot more communal and cost effective. And 9 times out of 10, you are coming home with a ton of leftovers that become other meals for you. So then it's like you're getting a really nice bang for your buck. And going back to point number 2, you're also just spending really nice quality time with people that you care about. And inadvertently, it really helps to create long-lasting memories and relationships that you honestly cherish forever. Editing Carla here, I completely forgot to mention this, but I actually don't eat red meat, and I haven't for many years, which I know, what a disgrace to my culture, but I just wanted to point that out and to say that I still partake in the aspect of the meaning behind doing Sunday Asados and eating at the table like a family, sharing hours of time together, and just the essence behind that, and or just putting a chicken on the grill or a piece of fish. So it all remains the same, but I just wanted to come on here just because I felt like it was a detail that I should clarify. But anyways, continuing on with the video. Habit number 4 is borrowing over buying, and this is huge. Whether this is kitchen essentials, tools, books, clothing items, we are notorious for borrowing things from each other before buying it. This is also in big part because things, especially when it comes to kitchen gadgets, clothes, things like that, are so expensive in South America that honestly it doesn't make sense when you compare it to the wages, and it just becomes something where honestly people are kind of forced to have to borrow over buying. But as someone who grew up around that and started to develop that mentality, I actually can really appreciate it because it really does help to reduce unnecessary purchases and clutter when maybe you just need something for a period of time and you don't need to go out and buy it, and then it's something that stays with you. And it also just helps the environment. And it's honestly not that common to see that here. It's very rare for people to borrow things from each other. I wish it's something that people did more. Again, that's a generalization. I know that there are people that do that, whether it's out of necessity or not. But I think another really important part of doing that, and that being part of a culture, it's that it builds trust and community reciprocity, which I think is something that we could all use more of. And if borrowing isn't an option, that takes me to habit number 5, which is Argentinians are masters at repairing instead of replacing. And this can also range from shoes, clothing items, kitchen items, cars, electronics, furniture. Really, you name it, there is someone out there who will repair it at a really good cost. And once again, not only does this help save money, but it also helps to reduce waste. And that being said, I understand that it is so hard to find people to fix things here in the US. And a lot of the times, even if you do, it honestly costs less for you to just buy the new thing than getting it fixed. That is very different in South America, or again, at least in Argentina, because that's what we're talking about today. There is always someone who can fix it. And the cost of fixing, like I said, because goods are so expensive, it does end up being the opposite, where it's a lot cheaper for you to repair something over replace it, which here is most of the time not the case. That being said, for me, the way that I've personally been able to save thousands from doing this is that when I do take a trip to Argentina, whether that's on a yearly basis or every other year, I always have my stash of things that I am taking with me on that trip, and I am getting fixed over there for a fraction of the cost, and then I can bring it back with me. So that has saved me so much money if I think about it over the years, how many little things, almost insignificantly seeming things, I've gotten fixed over there instead of going out to buy a new one here. And I'm so thankful that I get to do that. And I know that if you're watching this video, you may not travel to Argentina, so it may not be applicable to you. But even so, it's always worth inquiring about, because you may be surprised sometimes on how fixing something over replacing it can end up saving you more money than you realize. Habit number 6 is repurposing old items. And trust me when I say we get creative in this department, whether that's using old socks, old t-shirts, all of those things for us in our eyes can be used as other things. So whether that's like rags to clean, old toothbrushes to hand clean your shoes, we repurpose just about anything that we can into a new life form. My parents used to repurpose any container into Tupperware, which I also know that a lot of people do. So I know it's not just an Argentinian thing, but whether that was a Tupperware with Faye Greek yogurt, maybe cottage cheese, whatever the case may be. One of the first times we had dinner at my parents' place and they gave us leftover empanadas and a few other things. They gave us an arrangement of random Tupperware that other foods had come in and you couldn't see in there. And I remember my fiance reaching for the yogurt Tupperware one time, thinking it was yogurt, only to open it and find empanadas. That's a classic example of how we repurpose. So with all of that said, those are just some of the frugal Argentinian habits and cultural things that have personally, honestly saved me thousands when I look back on my life. So hopefully this video inspires you or makes you feel seen if you do any of these things. And if you do, let me know which ones, or let me know where you're from and what are some of the things that your culture naturally does that maybe have led you to more frugal habits without noticing, or help you just live more in the present moment and enjoy real life connection and spending time with loved ones. And if you're on your own journey of designing a life that you love and being more intentional along the way, don't forget to like and subscribe. It just really helps to support my small channel, and that way we can go on this journey called life together. Also, side note, I am going to start posting more on the community tab of the channel. That way I can get more feedback from you guys on what type of videos you want to see next. So definitely go check that out and feel free to let me know in the comments. And as always, thanks so much for taking time out of your day to spend it on this little corner of the internet. And I hope to catch you in one of my next videos.